Hey, what's up guys? Back with another video, and today we're talking about out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so it sounds kind of funny, but it is true. A lot of people will only train what they can see in the mirror. They'll train their biceps, they'll train their chest, their abs, their quads, things like that, things that they can see in the mirror, but they'll forget about their back, the rear deltoid, their lats, upper back, lower back, hamstrings. They tend to forget about these things, and over time, neglecting them can cause a lot of problems. Okay, now, give you an example. Okay, I've been around martial arts and boxing my whole life since I was 12 years old, and so, as you know, of course, martial artists punch a lot, also do a lot of push-ups. It's very, very common, right? That's what we do. Okay, and so many guys who practice it have their shoulders pulled forward. Everything's pulled forward because they're not doing anything for their back to balance things out. I remember years ago I went to this massage place, a massage therapist, and she told me as soon as I walked in, she said, "Yeah, I can see your shoulders are pulled forward," and I didn't realize that. So I had to spend some time working on back and shoulder exercises to pull them back. It worked, but obviously, it took time. Okay, so make sure that you don't neglect training your back, rear deltoids, all that. Okay, so I want to go over some exercises you can use to do that. Just remember that you always need to train in a balanced way. If you do a pushing movement, you must do a pulling movement. If you do a squatting movement, you must do a pulling movement, like a deadlift or a swing or a good morning or something like that, to kind of even things out. It has to be balanced. Okay, because this, like I said, in time this can cause a lot of problems. Okay, a lot of injuries and pain and all kinds of things. Okay, so let's start with the back. Okay, the rowing, bent over rowing is probably one of the best exercises that you can do. All right, don't worry about using heavy weight. Just try to get good control. Now, what you always say is that you want to have your butt out and chest out. All right, so this position here, you want to bend your legs a bit, your butt out, and then bend forward until you're right about here. Okay? Well, so I'm going to get my dumbbells here. All right, so here you go. So here, bend the legs until you're right about here, and then go. And you notice I'm pulling towards my hips. I'm not doing this, pulling up here, because that's just a really crappy curl. Okay? I'm pulling out towards my hips. Okay. Very, very good back exercise. Maybe bent over rowing could possibly be the best back exercise for the lats and the upper and the mid back muscles there. Okay. Now another exercise I want to go over is the two actually is the lateral raise and the bent over lateral raise. Okay, for your shoulders. All right. So most shoulder exercises are overhead presses and things, and that's fine, you can do that, but you're primarily working front delt and a bit of side delt. You have three heads in your shoulders. You have front, side, rear. So overhead pressing is primarily front delt, okay? But we need to hit that side and rear as well. So we have lateral raises for that. The standing one, regular standing one, upright, and the bent over one, okay? Now, the way I learned to do lateral raise is the Larry Scott method. Larry Scott, for those who don't know, was a 1965 and 66 Mr. Olympia. The first Mr. Olympia, actually. And he was also, there's this old Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello film, Muscle Beach Party, and he was in there. He was, they called him Rock in the movie, okay? So the way I learned here is that you have your dumbbells in front of you here, all right? And then up the side, up. And one other thing too, I'm gonna try and, I got my hand offset. You see how it's offset here on the pinky side of the dumbbell? So that's what we call pouring the milk jug position. Now you don't want to make it excessive, okay? But you want your hand to be a little bit in this position. A little bit like that, okay? Not like crazy like this, because that can impinge your shoulder and affect your rotator cuff, internal rotation, but just a little bit to activate the side head, okay? So, dumbbells in front of you, hands offset to the pinky side. Here, and go. See? I can get a little bit of body English in there, but not too much. Okay? And last one, these things, I don't have the fixed dumbbells like at the gym. These are these things come apart. I have my other ones, my power blocks on my car. So anyways, bear with me here. Okay. And the next one is the bent over lateral raise, which is very similar to the other one, only you're bent over further in the same position as you were for the rowing. Okay, so again, legs bent, butt out, over, back arched. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? 5, 6. There we go. Okay. So, and one thing too. You may notice there is a little bit of body English there, right? It's not completely still. There is a little bit of body English, and that's fine, okay? As long as you're controlling it. What you don't want to do is get in the habit of heaving things around. So when you're doing rows, you don't want this kind of action. This kind of thing, right? And then you don't want this kind of thing, this kind of thing, right? You want to, you know, there may be some body English, but it's being done in a controlled manner. Okay, always controlled, okay? So those 3 exercises, you get the rowing, the standing side laterals, and the bent over laterals. These will go a long way towards training the muscles in the back of your body and, you know, keeping things in balance, okay? So make sure you do these things. Oh, one more. For the legs, the Romanian style deadlift, different from the stiff-legged one, is probably one of the best hamstring movements which I know of. There are many others, of course, but this is one of the best ones I know of. And once again, we have that position with the legs bent, butt out, and back flat. And all we're doing here is we're extending it. Okay, now you'll need more weight than what you're using for the rowing and the lateral raises, but right now we'll just use these dumbbells for now. Okay, and here, so just once again, so legs bent. Your butt will intentionally come out. Down and here. See, so the hips kind of thrust forward as you kind of stand up. See, so your butt comes out and your hips come forward. Okay, back stays flat the whole time. Okay, yeah. Yeah, when I used to, when I was first learning how to train years ago, at Max Gym, I remember there was a guy there who was standing on the bench. He would take a barbell across the bench, and he'd stand on his feet together on the bench, and he would do that. He round his back way. His legs were almost completely locked. He round his back way over this, and man, it used to hurt me to watch that guy. Okay, so don't do that kind of thing. You're gonna really screw up your back, and it's just bad news. Okay, stick with this version. Okay, so So let's go top to bottom, okay? We have the side laterals, standing side laterals for the side head, the bent over laterals for the rear head here. We have the rowing, bent over rowing for the back, mid back here, lats, mid back here. And we have the Romanian style deadlift for the hamstrings, okay? So that should, make sure you include those things in your workout to make sure that things are balanced properly, okay? And once again, you don't want to be in a position where you're training only the front and you neglect the back. All right, so make sure. Okay, so that's quite a bit of information we covered today. We'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, send me a message. Visit my website at www.chriswongfitness.com, and I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?